A lot of people assume Dachshunds are just cute little companion dogs, but mentally they were built very differently from most small breeds. Dachshunds were bred to work independently underground, and because of that, they can become overly suspicious, territorial, stubborn, and extremely vocal if they are poorly socialized. That's why early socialization and obedience training are so important for this breed. Without enough exposure to people, animals, sounds, and environments, many Dachshunds become reactive very quickly. But even that is far from the biggest mistake owners make with this breed. Because here are 5 more things you should never do to a Dachshund if you want them to live a healthier and longer life. First, never let your Dachshund repeatedly jump off furniture. One of the worst things you can repeatedly allow a Dachshund to do is jump on and off furniture. Their spine was never designed for vertical impact. Most dogs distribute force more evenly through longer legs and more balanced body proportions. Dachshunds don't. Their extremely long back acts almost like a bridge suspended between very short legs, so every hard landing sends pressure directly through the spine, especially through the discs in the middle of the back. And over time, those repeated impacts can slowly damage the discs until one day the dog suddenly struggles to walk properly. That's one of the reasons Dachshunds are so vulnerable to IVDD. What makes this dangerous is that the damage usually builds slowly over time. Many owners think their Dachshund is perfectly fine because the dog keeps jumping normally every day, but Dachshunds are stubborn dogs, and many of them continue jumping even while already experiencing pain. That's why ramps are one of the best investments a Dachshund owner can make, because their anatomy is far more specialized and fragile than most people realize. 2. Never let your Dachshund become overweight. Even a small amount of extra weight can become a serious problem for a Dachshund, because unlike most breeds, Dachshunds already place enormous mechanical stress on their spine naturally. Now imagine adding extra weight onto an already vulnerable structure. The pressure increases dramatically, and this becomes even more dangerous because Dachshunds absolutely love food. Most Dachshunds will happily eat far more than they actually need. Many owners even mistake overeating for happiness, but obesity is one of the fastest ways to increase the risk of spinal problems, mobility issues, joint stress, and reduced lifespan in this breed. And because Dachshunds are small dogs, even a few extra pounds make a massive biomechanical difference. What looks only slightly overweight on a Dachshund can place enormous strain on the spine. Keeping a Dachshund lean is one of the best things you can do for their long-term health and spinal protection. 3. Never ignore their instincts. A lot of owners think their Dachshund is weird because it constantly burrows into blankets, digs into couches, squeezes beneath furniture, or obsessively searches for tight spaces, but those behaviors aren't random, they're hunting instincts. For generations, Dachshunds were bred to enter underground tunnels completely alone. Inside those tunnels, they had to navigate in darkness, react independently, and continue hunting through extremely confined spaces. That behavior never disappeared. Modern Dachshunds still carry many of those instincts today. That's why mentally understimulated Dachshunds often become destructive, obsessive, anxious, or excessively vocal surprisingly quickly. Their brain was built for constant stimulation and underground problem solving, and one of the biggest mistakes owners make is assuming Dachshunds only need physical exercise. They also need mental stimulation, sniffing games, burrowing toys, exploration, training, problem-solving activities. Because mentally exhausted Dachshunds are usually much calmer and healthier dogs. 4. Never assume your Dachshund is bad. Dachshunds are often called stubborn, dramatic, or difficult, and honestly, they can be. But there's a reason for that behavior. Most dog breeds were developed to constantly follow human direction. Dachshunds weren't. Once a Dachshund entered an underground tunnel, humans often couldn't even see the dog anymore. The Dachshund had to make decisions completely alone. It had to react independently without waiting for instructions. That level of independence became deeply rooted into the breed. So when a Dachshund ignores commands, it's often not because the dog is bad, it's because the breed was genetically shaped to think independently. That's also why harsh punishment usually works terribly with Dachshunds. They respond much better to consistency, patience, repetition, and trust. Many owners accidentally create worse behavior by constantly yelling at a Dachshund that genuinely thinks it's making the correct decision. Training a Dachshund successfully usually means understanding how their brain was originally designed to work instead of trying to force them to behave like a completely different breed. 5. Never ignore regular vet checkups. One of the biggest mistakes Dachshund owners make is only taking their dog to the vet when something already looks seriously wrong. The problem is that Dachshunds are extremely good at hiding pain. Many Dachshunds continue walking, playing, eating, and behaving relatively normally even while developing spinal problems, joint pain, dental disease, or other health issues. And because this breed is genetically vulnerable to several physical conditions, regular checkups become incredibly incredibly important. A vet can often detect small problems long before they become severe. That includes early signs of IVDD, mobility issues, weight problems, dental disease, ear infections, and joint stress. This is especially important for dachshunds because once spinal problems become advanced, recovery becomes much more difficult. Prevention and early detection are always easier than treatment. Regular vet visits also help owners better understand how their dachshund's weight, movement, posture, and overall health are changing over time. And honestly, many serious dachshund health problems become far worse simply because owners notice them too late. That's why routine checkups are one of the most important parts of keeping a dachshund healthy long-term. Dachshunds are funny, loyal, intelligent, stubborn, affectionate, and honestly one of the most unique dog breeds on Earth. But they also require a level of understanding that many owners underestimate. If you want to learn how to reduce the risk of IVDD and better protect your dachshund's spine, watch the video on your screen right now and subscribe if you want to understand dachshunds beyond just thinking they're cute.